All right, we are going to make these rocket pieces that fit together like so. Let's see if I can hold this up. The two pieces, so the slot on one stops where the slot on the other begins. And they insert together. So this is a technique just to help you learn how to create slotted pieces that connect together. So here we go. All right, I'm gonna create a file. Always put your name first and last, period, and then the name of the file, rocket. I'm gonna start by sketching on the front plane with the line tool. Now, I'm gonna do something to make your life a little easier. Right next to the line tool, I'm toggling on and off the dashed line. So press and hold, watch what happens. I'm gonna snap to the center and go straight up. And I get a dashed line, all right? So it's exactly the same thing as drawing a line, but you turn on this little dashed symbol. All right, now nothing is on. Now so turn off your line tool, turn it back on, and now we're gonna draw the rocket. But I'm going to start by drawing the rocket with like a gap in the middle. No, let's not do that. Let's actually undo what we just did. Let's turn on the line tool and let's just draw the rocket. So here we go. Now when you draw it, you don't need to worry about it being perfect, but you want it to be approximately correct. All right, now this helps. Look at this, snapping to the middle. That's going to help me not have to dimension that middle point right there. Snapping across here will help me as well, not have to use the horizontal line tool. Snapping across here, if I connect those and drag across, they're already horizontally aligned. And there you go. Now we have to create that slit, right? Be careful, if the line tool is still on, it's going to want to start drawing from where I left off. Oh, maybe not. Well, anyway, turn on the line tool. I'm going to press and hold, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to draw. Oh, look at that, it snapped to the middle. I don't want that. So let's zoom in a lot. Turn on my line tool, press and hold. We don't want it to snap to the middle because we want to draw a slit that straddles the middle, okay? So you're gonna draw it like so. There you go. Now I'm gonna turn off my line tool and grab the trim tool, zoom in, press and hold, and delete those little lines. All right, perfect. So we're pretty good to go. If you missed that part when I was kind of using the points to snap to each other, make sure these are horizontally aligned right here. Make sure this point and this point are horizontally aligned. You know, and if you didn't draw it straight up and down, make sure these points are vertically aligned, right, on both sides of your rocket. So step one is to draw the shape approximately correct. Step two is to horizontally and vertically align your points. You can also test by dragging. These 2 points are moving together vertically, or say moving together vertically, which means they are horizontally aligned. So you can always test it too. All right, so sketch the shape, vertically and horizontally align any points, and then put on your largest dimension. I'm gonna go top to bottom. Now that's diagonal. Put your finger on the number, drag it out until it becomes a vertical dimension. I'm just gonna use 6 inches, check. And that'll shrink everything down. I'm gonna turn off my line tool and just zoom in a little bit. All right. If by any chance the tip of your rocket doesn't look like it's in the center, this is what you should do. You should dimension the full width, whatever number you want. I'll use 3 inches, okay? Now that looks really goofy. Looks really goofy. all right? But I should be able to still move things around. There's not a lot of dimensions, right? So I can still move this around till it looks kind of symmetrical. I'll put dimensions on to guarantee it. So watch this. I turn on my dimension tool, I press and hold, I go from the corner to that line of symmetry right here. And that should be exactly half of 3, okay? Make sure that the tip of your rocket is vertically aligned with, the end of that dashed line. They should be vertically aligned. So I'll hit vertical, although I think mine already were vertically aligned. Okay, so that line of symmetry is going to help a lot. Now, the full width of this slot right here, if I just tap on that line, if I select it, the full width of this is only 0.135, 135 thousandths of an inch. That's the thickness of cardboard. But I want it to be symmetrical about that line. I'm going to turn off my tool. You can actually move the line if you tap it and drag it. Some of you might have trouble doing that just because of the sensibility of your screen. Okay, you might have to delete the lines and redraw them so that they go across the top. But we want it to be symmetrical. To be symmetrical, we turn on our dimension tool and we say, hey, we need the dimension from this corner to this line. Where did the dimension should be there somewhere? Where did it go? There it is. I'm going to put my finger on here and I'm zooming in. What should this number be? Well, it should be exactly half, excuse me, half of 0.135. So you can use the keyboard and type in 0.135 divided by 2, and look at that. It makes it symmetrical. And then you just go about your business putting on the rest of the dimensions, but try to make it symmetrical. Now, if you don't want to follow all the dimensioning rules for now, you don't have to. For example, if I put this dimension in, then I say, the distance from this side, if I make this, say, 1 inch, then I need to make sure the other one is also 1 inch. So go ahead and break all the rules. I'm not using a common reference point. Put your finger on the number. At this point, you want to drag straight down, right? And I make this 1 inch as well. I just want symmetry. So yes, I am breaking the rules of using a common reference point, but we can delete these lines and put it on properly later, right? I could double tap the number, delete it, and now I could put it on properly using the right side to this point, and I could put on this number like that. Now I'm using a common reference point. But notice I kind of not cheated, but I didn't use a common reference point at first just to make sure it was symmetrical. All right, so I would say, establishing that line of symmetry is key. After that, go ahead and put on any dimensions you want. It doesn't really matter what the size is. Don't have any diagonal dimensions. So as long as it looks good to you, it's fine. A very important number is the height of the slot, right? None of these dimensions really matter as long as it looks good, but the height of the slot does matter, right? How far does this extend? Well, it should be exactly half of the design. Whoa! I'm going to undo what I just did. Okay, so let's put on the dimension from the very bottom to the corner of that. I didn't grab it. Let's try that again. There we go. Again, don't make it diagonal. Drag it out. And it should be exactly half of the full height. My full height was 9. So I'll make that 4.5, or 9 divided by 2. Oh, that's a 6. Sorry, I'm looking at it upside down, I guess. So let's try that again. Half of 6 is 3. There you go. Check. So that's part 1. Then we have to do the top of the rocket. All right. For the top of the rocket, I'm going to show you a trick here. I could copy this sketch, start a new sketch, all right, on the front plane. and then I hit the check mark. And right now it's blank. There's nothing in Sketch 2, right? If I turn off Sketch 1's visibility, I got nothing in Sketch 2, but if I click the 3 dots, I can hit paste into Sketch. So I just copied and pasted. Now I've got something to work with. It's just like the other piece. I'm going to edit it. I got all my dimensions, but I need to change some of the lines up. So what I could do, double tap in the white space, I could delete some lines. I'll trim, right? Because I want the slot to be opposite of this one. So I'm going to delete this one, delete this one. I'm going to leave that line there where the 2 slots will meet. I'm going to fill in the gap. Oh, let me show you how to fill in the gap. Here we go. If I just tap these 2 points, I can go to my tools and hit coincident. It's near the top, I think. Coincident. Oh, so I saw a student show me the search, C-O-I, coincident. There it is. And then the points will connect. They'll be brought together. Now I need to finish the slot at the top. So I turn on my line tool, press and hold, and I'm going to go straight up from here. I'm kind of running out of space. I'm going to drag that line. Whoa! Look at that. Look at that. It's offset. That's not good. I'm going to leave it offset on purpose just to show you how to fix it. So we need a dimension. These dimensions are not working for us right here unless we could get that dashed line to line up with the center. How do we do that? Well, check this out. Here's a trick. Turn on your dimension tool and say, hey, here's the center. Here's my dashed line. I want that dimension to be 0. Right now it's offset a little bit. I can actually change that to 0 and it brings it back together. That's a little trick. And now it's centered again. Turn on my line tool, press and hold, go straight up. I'm going to tap that point and drag it out a little bit. And now I can use my trim tool to delete the extra lines that I don't need. There you go. And then this piece should fit together perfectly with the other rocket. If you're not sure, you can always assemble them. You can create an assembly, and then they should fit together. Let's do that just for kicks. Let's hit check. Sketch 1. Oh, I'd have to move them. Well, that's a lot of work on an iPad. We'll do that for another day. We'll just go ahead and laser cut these and they should fit together. Oh, before you laser cut though, you want to delete the dashed line. So turn on your trim tool, make sure you delete the dashed line because the laser will cut that line. We needed it, but now we're done with it. So let's go back into both sketches and make sure you get rid of that dashed line because the laser will cut it. Check. All right, so there's sketch 1, and there's sketch 2, and they should fit together precisely.